Hello guys, this is the Retro Gamer 06. How's everyone doing today? Today I want to go over another one of my favorite franchises, video games. I did videos kind of like this. I did one where I went over my Castlevania videos. I think, Resident Evil videos. I want to do Final Fantasy, and I've been doing a Final Fantasy shelf. As you see, I got some more games on there. So originally I was going to just do it all in one video, but I think that'll be way too long. So I'm not doing that. I'm going to split this into part. I don't know how many it's going to be. So this will be a part one of my Final Fantasy games collection. Just to kind of show you what I got, what I've been collecting, for a while. So, some of these games I don't have every single one of them. I'm just gonna show you what I got so far, but it's gonna be split into parts. So, yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited for this. So, but before I begin, subscribe to my channel, leave a like. I would appreciate it. And I'm going to start with the game for me that started all, because I never heard of Final Fantasy until I saw this on the PS1 back when it came out in '97. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Final Fantasy VII for the PS1, original Black Label. Back when I bought this brand new, it was greatest hits. Uh, so for my collection, I'm trying to keep it original, so I'm buying Black Labels only. So it's a cover. It's 3 discs long. It's rated T for teen for realistic violence. Here's the spine and the back. I do apologize for the glare. It is one player, memory card, one block. It says, quite possibly the greatest game ever made. Game Fan Magazine. An epic adventure across 3 CD-ROMs. What begins as a rebellion against an evil corporation becomes much more, and what erupts goes beyond imagination. With vivid landscapes, lush 3D animation, and environments, Squaresoft's multi-million-dollar masterpiece is like nothing ever seen before, and is always on the PlayStation. Which is funny because, this came out in '97, right? I believe it came out a year later on the PC. So, now it's on PS4, it's on Switch. It says towers over the competition in terms of graphics, sound, story, and playability. That was from GamePro magazine. I don't know if GamePro magazine is still around or not. I can't remember. But I used to collect them when I was little, and I would go through them and see what games are coming out. Good times, good times. So, open it up. You have your booklet, disc one, right there. And then you have disc 2 and 3. And they do have artwork. I like the Sephiroth through the flames. Very nice. So, I know the manual's got a little mini walkthrough. Excuse me. A mini walkthrough, which is cool. Which is the beginning of the game. The bombing raid. So, great game. I mean, yeah, it's outdated graphics, but great story. Great gameplay mechanics. I like the use of the materia system. Very nice. And this next game was actually my second game, and this came out, I believe, 1999. Final Fantasy VIII for the PS1, of course. This was the second one for the PS1. Rate T for teen for animated violence, mild language, suggestive themes. It's 4 discs this time instead of 3. So here's the spine, and here's the back. It's one player, memory card, 1 to 15 blocks, analog control compatible, vibration function compatible, and It says, a member of an elite military team, Squall is forced into a conflict beyond imagination. To survive, he must contend with the desperate rival of powerful sorcerers and his own mysterious dreams. Realistic, detailed characters and background graphics enhanced by a breathtaking musical score. An epic story based on the theme of love set in a massive new world. New junction system allows characters to be customized with powerful magic spells drawn from enemies. Near an hour of stunning motion captured CG cinemas seamlessly integrated into gameplay. Yeah, this is considered the black sheep of the series because of the junction system. It's very weird, you can you draw magic from enemies and bosses, and there's even draw points as well. Uh, I know it's very odd. And you don't want to level grind, okay? You want to keep at a low level, but that's where junction comes into play. You can it's hard to explain. You can add fire, thunder, ice, bio, whatever the case may be. You can put it under your attacks, under your defense. Like, for example, if you put fire and under defense, uh, then you'll only take a half a damage of fire. So, it's pretty interesting. And y'all know Final Fantasy has summons. Well, in this one, they're called Guardian Forces, GF for short. And what's interesting about them is that they have abilities that they can learn, and you can equip that ability onto your characters to enhance your gameplay. So it's a very odd gameplay, but kind of neat, kind of weird. So yeah, not a bad game. Check it out if you haven't already. And this is my second favorite Final Fantasy game. I put this next to Final Fantasy 7. For those who don't know me, Final Fantasy 7 is my number one favorite because it was my first game. It was the first time I heard Final Fantasy. But this one is my second favorite. It's so good, I almost made it my number one favorite. And that is Final Fantasy 9. It's also 4-disc. Rate T for teen for animated violence, mild language. This came out 2000. This was the last Final Fantasy game to be on the PS1 because at around this time, I think PS2 was coming out. So here's the spine. Here's the back. And I didn't like this game right away when it came out because I was so into 7 and 8 at the time because I guess because of the setting. I loved it, the futuristic setting. This is a throwback to the first 6 Final Fantasy games. What I mean by that, if you played the 2D ones, it's got that medieval feel to it, the steampunk kind of feel to it. Yeah, castles and classes like Black Mage, White Mage, Warrior, Paladin, whatever. And it goes back to that roots, this one. So when I played again years later on my PS4, I fell in love with it. I love this game. Love the story, love the characters, love the music. I even had the soundtrack. So yeah. So this is a game you had to play on your bucket list. You have to play this game. But if you do, I recommend the newer version. It's got better graphics. It's got fast forward. No random encounters. So I recommend playing that version if you can. So let's look at the inside of it. Here's disc 1. You have Zidane, the main character. Your booklet. There's Bahamut, the summon. Online strategy guide. I guess you go online. But I heard this one's very useful. So there's disc 4. That's Vivi, the Black Mage. And you have disc 3. Steiner, he's a knight. I don't think I read the back of it, my bad. It says, the crystal comes back. Without question, Final Fantasy IX is the best looking game in the series. In every way, Final Fantasy IX takes the best of the old and mixes it with the best of the new. Electronic Gaming Monthly. So, yeah, if you look at Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 5, those games, you pick your classes, right, with 4 characters. Here, they're already selected. For example, Garnet, he's a white mage. Well, white mage slash summoner. Vivi is a black mage. Steiner's a knight. Zidane, the main character, he's a thief. And you have Amaranth, the guy with the red hair there. You see him up close right there. That's him. I believe he's a red mage, but I'm not positive. And then you have characters like Eiko or Eiko. She's a summoner. Uh, Freya, she's a dragoon. Quena is a blue mage. So it's a very interesting game. You gotta play this. I did a walkthrough of this already on my channel, so check it out if you haven't already. Great game. I love it. Now we got Final Fantasy Origins. And this has Final Fantasy 1 and 2. Rate T for teen for violence. It says the birth of an adventure. Experience the re-release of 2 classic games which started the most popular RPG series worldwide. Contains complete versions of the groundbreaking original Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy II, which has never before been released in North America. Both games contain enhanced graphics, sound, and music, plus special features unique to this collection. Collector's package, bonus features, new theme songs and CG opening cinemas, art galleries of Yoshitaka Amanas. She did the artwork for Vampire Hunter D as well. Uh, his illustrations, detailed bestiaries of enemies for each game, expanded event scenes, and new story scenes. It's 1 play for each game, 1 memory card block for each game, and 5 bracing function compatible for each game. So, yeah, this is the first time we played the actual Final Fantasy 1 and 2. Again, I originally had this. It was greatest hits, but I sold it. These games I used to have, but I sold them years ago because back then it was hard to get a job and I needed the money. So now I'm getting the black label version. So, very cool. We'll see the inside of it. There's a disc. And it's got Unlimited Saga coming summer 2003 for the PS2. So, here's the artwork. Very nice. And they also released it on the PSP, Game Boy Advance, Pixel Remaster. So now you can play these games just about on every console. Steam, Xbox, I believe, PS4, so yeah. And next we have Final Fantasy Chronicles. It has Final Fantasy IV and Chrono Trigger. It's 2 discs. Rate T for teen for mild violence and suggestive themes. I remember as a kid, this bothered me because I'm like, where is Final Fantasy 3? This could easily have Final Fantasy 3 and 4, but now at the time I didn't know this. But I found out later that Final Fantasy 3 was not released outside of Japan until 2006 for the DS, but I'll get that in a minute. So, this was the first time that I played Final Fantasy 4 and Chrono Trigger. Final Fantasy 4 I did beat, but I never beat Chrono Trigger. Although I do want to, and I want to get the DS version because I heard that version was better. So yeah, here's a spine. Out of all the 2D Final Fantasy games, Final Fantasy 4 is my favorite. I would say Final Fantasy 4 is my third favorite game. So it said it's about time. When these games came out, they defined what adventure should be. Since then, they have become the most popular and sought after titles in history. Now you can experience the re-release of two complete classic games enhanced with all new cinemas and features never before seen in the US. Final Fantasy IV was previously released as Final Fantasy II, but has been completely restored with new magic, monsters, items, CG cinemas, and added features. Yeah, I do remember that. That Final Fantasy II for the Super Nintendo was actually this. Uh, Final Fantasy VI was Final Fantasy III. So, in the bottom it says Chrono Trigger is a re-release of the original game. This time-traveling prequel to Chrono Cross is enhanced with all new animated scenes. Final Fantasy IV has one or two players. I did not know that. I don't know how that's possible. Memory card, one block. Chrono Trigger, one player. Memory card, one block. So the first disc, you have Final Fantasy IV. And there's a booklet. Sorry for the glare. There we go. And then the second disc has Chrono Trigger. And the artwork, I can't remember his name. I think he passed just recently, didn't he? The guy who did the artwork for Dragon Ball Z. So there's Chrono Trigger. But yeah, this is the Chrono Trigger is the one that I want to play and try to beat. I never beaten it, so but I would like to one day. So there you have it, Final Fantasy Chronicles. Great stuff. And I got one more game for the PS1, and that is Final Fantasy Anthology. Rated T for teen, of course, for mild animated violence and comic mischief. And it's two discs. That's Terra, I believe. She's the main character in Final Fantasy VI. I have not beaten Final Fantasy VI. I have played it. I've got pretty far, I think. I got past the Phantom Train, the Ghost Train, the Forest. I think that's where I stopped. But for whatever reason, I didn't continue it. I don't know why. But I do want to finish it at some point. So there's the spine and the back. And it says, learn from the past. Two complete classic RPGs in one collection. Contains Final Fantasy V, never before released in the US, and Final Fantasy VI. So yeah, this is the first time we get to play Final Fantasy V. Uh, two different adventures, each with epic storylines, 30 plus hours of gameplay, memorable characters, plus entirely new CG cinemas unique in this to this collection. See the origins of hot features later seen in Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII, including summoning magic, the active time battle system, mini quests, and more. Countless weapons, items, magic spells, and special skills allow for incredible gameplay depth and strategy. And then it says, contains bonus music CD featuring favorite scores from both games. I don't remember this comes to soundtrack, but see, I bought this when it was greatest hits, so maybe the greatest hits, it didn't come to soundtrack. I don't know. Final Fantasy V, one or two players. I didn't know that. Final Fantasy VI, one or two players. So yeah, okay. So this came out either 1998 or 99. I'm not for sure. So let's open it up. You have your booklet. Disc 1 has Final Fantasy V. Check it out. There we go. That's Terra, the main character in Final Fantasy VI. And then you have your soundtrack right there. And Final Fantasy VI. And there's Kefta. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Like a clown, like a jester. Believe it or not, he's the main antagonist in Final Fantasy VI. So, yeah, I really want to get back to Final Fantasy VI and then try to beat it this time. Because I heard a lot of good things about it. So, I got about 2 more games. So one game I lack for the PS1 is Final Fantasy Tactics. I don't have that one. I think that's the only one I'm missing on the PS1. So now I'm going to move on to DS. I only have 2 games. One I used to have, but I sold it. But I bought another copy. And this came out, I believe, 2006. And that is Final Fantasy 3. So for the first time in the US, we got to play Final Fantasy 3. But it's in 3D. Yes, it's a remake. So there's a spine. Here's the back. And it's rated E for everyone. Fantasy violence, mild blood, suggestive themes, a tale untold, a divine balance is disturbed as darkness encroaches upon the world. And 4 chosen youth are entrusted with the final visions of hope. Classic Final Fantasy gameplay is reborn in an adventure never before seen in North America. Using any combination of 23 available jobs, lead the 4 warriors of the light in a journey to restore the world's balance. Communicate with your friends and unlock hidden challenges over Mognet using the Nintendo DS Wi-Fi connection. Enlist the aid of allies providing guidance to your party and support in battle. I never done any of that. Restore the light, return balance to the world, witness the rebirth of a new fantasy. Very cool. And there's your booklet and your cartridge. And I don't think there's anything. It's just blank. So. And that's like your warranty or something. Yeah, I've only played this once. I don't remember much about it. But I want to play this again at some point. And this one I never played. I played it 2D. I just kind of talked about on the PS1. And that is Final Fantasy IV Remake. And I noticed, I love the cover too. I noticed they changed the symbol on the title. Because if you remember in the original Final Fantasy IV, it had Kain, the dragoon, in the middle. But now it's, I think it's Golbez. He's a main, well, he's not the main antagonist, but he is for a while. So, and I never played this version. I heard this one was more challenging, so should be exciting. I cannot wait to play this one. I just gotta find the time to play it. And here's the back. So it says, bid farewell to your bloodstained past. Follow the Dark Knight Cecil. I know in the remake, I saw some video on YouTube, and it was pronounced Cecil. I've always pronounced it Cecil, but I don't think it matters. It says, Lord Captain of Baron's elite force, the Red Wings. As he embarks on a fateful journey riddled with trials, betrayals, friendship, loss, and self-discovery. Plagued with uncertainty over his monarch's motives, can Cecil turn away from the path of darkness and destruction? Fully remade in 3D with new graphics and voiceovers. Witness gorgeous all new CG cutscenes. Updated battle system retained its original feel while elevating visual effects to an entirely new level. And I don't know if I read the E for Everyone rating. It's alcohol reference, fantasy violence, mild language, suggestive themes. So, if I already read that, I do apologize. So, but yeah, this is something that I want to play because I love Final Fantasy IV. Here at the inside of it, there's nothing behind the manual. It's just blank, like Final Fantasy 3. So it's nothing. So, but yeah, that will be the end of my part 1 Final Fantasy game collection. Like I said, originally I was going to do it on one video. I actually did a quick test run and it went over an hour. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So I'm just going to split it into parts. So yeah, not for sure when I'll do a part 2, but maybe pretty soon. So anyway, that is my Final Fantasy collection. I mean, you can see I got more on my shelf and still counting. So yeah, so part 2 will explore more of these. So be on the lookout for that. So yeah, I just love this game. Final Fantasy is what got me into RPG, you know. Like I said, 7 was my #1 favorite. It was my first game. So you see on my PS1 right there. So yeah, if someone were to tell me what order is my favorite Final Fantasy, I know a lot of people say, what's your top 5? Well, I don't know. I have top 4. 7, my #1 favorite. 9 is my second favorite. I love Final Fantasy 9. It's almost my #1 favorite, though, almost. Final Fantasy 4 is my third favorite. And Final Fantasy 8 is my fourth favorite. And if I have to mention, Final Fantasy 8 was the first game to introduce a card game. I can't think of it on my head. There was a card game in Final Fantasy 9 called Tetra Master, I think. Or Tetris Master. I can't remember what it's called now. So, anyway, that's my today's video. That was a part 1. As you can see, this video is already almost 30 minutes long. So, I will go over my other games in my later part. So, stay tuned for that. So, subscribe to my channel, guys, if you haven't already. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. I would appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.